Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm going to be showing you how to make your own scrunchie, and it does not require you to sew anything. If you're like me, a child of the 90s, you might use your scrunchies for side ponies or messy buns. You know, the world is limitless with a good scrunchie. So to get started, what you'll need is a piece of fabric. I recommend about 21 inches by 4 inches. You could do something a little shorter or skinnier. It's just going to change the shape of your scrunchie. So if you like this shape, do that size. You're gonna need some glue. I recommend a tacky glue or a fabric glue, preferably something that when you wash it, it's not going to fall apart on you. You're gonna want a piece of elastic. This is 1/4 inch wide, and I recommend 6 to 8 inches long for your elastic. And you're gonna need 2 safety pins. Let's get going. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is you are going to take your fabric and you are going to fold it lengthwise like this. Go ahead and make sure your sides are matching up with each other. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your glue and you're just gonna do a very thin line of it. And I recommend only working a few inches at a time. All right, get that glue coming out there. There we go. So as you can see, I'm putting it pretty close to the edge. I'm not doing a huge like gob of glue. Then I'm gonna push that down and keep moving. I just do this, and you could, you know, put all your glue on first and then try and fold it over on top. The problem is it's very easy to misgauge your fold, and then you go like, oh no, glue's everywhere and I've already folded it. And it makes a mess. So yeah, if you are impatient and you want to try that, go for it. I will not stop you because I can't, because I'm in your computer screen or your smartphone screen. I don't want to assume what kind of device you're using. All right, halfway there. Thrilling stuff right now. I have to admit, I'm a little surprised Scrunchies made a comeback, but I'm glad of it as someone who grew up in the 90s. Okay, cool. So now we've got our line of glue. And this is the hard part. You have to wait for it to dry, which takes a long time with a fabric or tacky glue or something like that. So rather than making you wait, I'm going to just use the power of movie magic and get my one that's already dried here. So once your glue is totally dry, you have to be patient. You are then going to turn your tube. Now, what do I mean when I say that? What I'm going to do here is I am going to take my safety pin and I am going to pin it to the very top edge, just one side. So if you can see in there, I'm just doing it on one layer of that fabric. Lock my safety pin in place. And then I am going to insert it inside the fabric tube. And then I'm going to gently and carefully wiggle this fabric. And so this might take a little bit of practice, might take a little bit of time, but what I'm doing here is I'm pushing my safety pin through the tube. And as I'm going, I'm trying to pull the fabric down, because what's gonna happen is my safety pin is going to turn this whole tube of fabric inside out. So one thing I would recommend if you're doing this is you might have to get in there with your fingers and kind of encourage it to get started. And then once you do, it should go a lot easier. So you'll notice as I'm doing this, I'm tugging on the fabric as it bunches up behind my safety pin inside. That encourages the tube to turn there. Depending on the type of fabric you're using, yours might turn easier than mine, you know? It just depends on how stiff the fabric is you're using. All right, so as you can see, now we've got this bit sticking out here. Just gonna hold onto this with one hand and pull with the other, and beautiful. So A little tricky getting it started, but it's worth it. All right, so now we have this long tube that's gonna be the body of our scrunchie. Then we're gonna take our elastic here. We're gonna pin one safety pin to one end of the elastic. And we're going to pin another safety pin, again, to the end of the fabric tube that we were using before. And we're gonna pin it to the elastic. So one safety pin is just elastic, the other one is elastic and fabric. What that's gonna do is it's gonna hold our elastic in place as we are going to, again, use our safety pin like a big needle. And we're going to use that to thread our elastic through. And you'll probably notice that it starts out fairly easy, but as you stretch the elastic more, it's gonna get harder and harder to move that fabric because it is bunching up and creating our scrunchie. All right, so we still have our elastic back here. We've got our elastic out the other end. This is one of the trickier parts, is you're going to carefully unpin your elastic and then hold it with one hand, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Careful not to let your elastic go, otherwise you're not gonna be able to do this next step. And then we have our two ends of our elastic now, one coming from each end of our fabric tube that we made. We are going to tie those together using a square knot. So just like you're tying your shoelaces, that initial knot, but you're gonna do that knot twice. All right, so now it's secure. If you really want to, and you wanna secure it, and you wanna make sure it's not going anywhere, you can always put some glue on top. Glue is hardly ever a bad idea in this situation. That'll just extra secure that knot so it doesn't go anywhere. So, the last step that you're gonna do is, now we've got these two ugly ends of our tube, we've got our elastic poking out, we need to glue those together so that you have a uniform scrunchie. This is one of the messier parts of the craft, so just be prepared to get glue on your hands. We are going to take one of our sides of our tube here, and we are gonna put glue all the way around on the outside of it, and then we're just gonna squish these two fabric bits together. Make sure your elastic is going on the inside because you don't wanna see it. You wanna see all your beautiful fabric that you picked. I think what I like best about these no-sew scrunchies is you can use basically any type of fabric you want. You could use like an old flannel shirt. You could use, I think this is like an old tablecloth or something. That's why it's so shiny. So you can use pretty much whatever you want for this. Like I said, don't overthink this part. You're really just squishing some stuff together to make it seal all the way around. Like I said, you're gonna get glue on your hands, and that's okay. And maybe the glue doesn't stick the first time, so you have to put more glue on, and that is also okay. You will survive. Because this is not precision work, if something goes wrong, you can usually fix it, which is my favorite kind of crafting. All right, now I have two scrunchies. I am powerful. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please go to our website, mesacountylibraries.org, to find more books about different kinds of crafts you can do. Please feel free to check out our YouTube channel for Mesa County Libraries, where you can find more cool craft videos for both kids and teens there. Thanks, and have a great day.